All right, Facility Fisk. Now, I wanted to introduce the Firesteins to you. There's the twins. There's twin girls, Sheila and Shirley. They're 10, and they look like Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine. Both of them look like Alfred E. Newman, except you dress Alfred E. Newman up in little blue dresses, matching blue dresses, and those are the Firestein twins, or the Firestein girls. Their mother is Firestein's wife. Now, sometimes she goes by Jeannie Firestein, and sometimes she goes by Dolores Firestein. And the father is it's not Harvey Firestein. Just so you know, it's no relation to Harvey Firestein. The father is oh my goodness, now what's this? Firestein's wife is going off now. She says he's a bankrupt old man. How'd you meet him? Oh, she says it wasn't Harvey Firestein. His name was Frank Firestein, and he was a Wall Street banker. He's dead now. Dead to her. He's alive. He's alive, but he's dead to Firestein's wife, Dolores Firestein. And the girls came about. She says that they were an accident, but she loves them dearly. She said it was. She said they didn't use birth control. What else? The girls are away at boarding school. Frank Firestein pays for it. How if he's not bankrupt? She says he's morally bankrupt, Frank Firestein. And you don't live. No, they don't live. Do you? They have heated conversations on the phone. What else? She's walking away. She's looking for the gin and tonic. Oh my goodness. I think she's had enough. She doesn't even like talking about him. Okay, so anyway, those are the Firestein girls. And if you look down on Infinite Bob 99, they're listed there. And you can see a picture of the Firestein twins. And Firestein's wife has never come on camera. She says we don't have proper attire. She's expecting to be all decked out, and she wants to wear a proper gown, and she wants pearls, and she says we don't have it here, and she is not going to show up in sweatpants. She says she refuses to be seen on camera wearing sweatpants, and she hangs out with this lady. We call her the cigarette lady. She's like back in the olden days. I don't know, maybe the swinging 60s or earlier, the 50s maybe. In certain clubs, there were the girls that came around in the club, and they had a big pan in front of them that was full of cigarettes, and this lady was a cigarette lady. And well, she hangs out with Firestein's wife, and they hang out with Marge Simpson's, the twin sisters that smoke cigarettes, and they're constantly the air is blue when they're around. Now, Rumpelstiltskin smokes, but he likes to smoke not necessarily cigars, but he doesn't want to talk about it. He gets a special blend, and it's not wacky tobacco. He says it's fairy tobacco, and I don't know. We're not allowed, but sometimes somebody gets really old tobacco, and it smells horrible. It's like moldy tobacco. It's tobacco, acrid smelling. It smells like it's got manure water sprayed on it, and you can smell it. It's horrible, and that's when they're really they're jonesing for tobacco, and there's nothing fresh, and they're scurrying around. There's crates. There's wooden crates that come in once a week, sometimes twice if they're really drinking heavily at the Slytherin bar. And behind all the crates, sometimes when they're drunk, they throw their old cigarette butts. And sometimes if there's no more tobacco, they'll go behind all the crates, move all the crates, make the crash. Sometimes they go in there and they just throw them and they shatter, these old dried out wooden crates. And they find old cigarette butts at the back. And sometimes, that God knows they could be 100 years old. They're so old. But, if they're jonesing, they'll go and they'll smoke those ones. And the smell is unbelievable. It's really disgusting. Now, as far as the kinds of things, well, Rumpelstiltskin is known to drink whiskey sours, and that's about it. He he says that, when the freighter comes in, it's a space freighter. They're out in space on a space station, and it's not like Deep Space Nine of Star Trek. It's made by the Sombra Corporation, and they call it the Hutch. And the space station is, it's made out to be a bar that's modeled on Slytherin. That's one of them, and they sometimes change the set, but Slytherin Bar they call it, and they just recently have been doing some renovations. The bathroom terrazzo was just barely started. The workmen came and they jackhammered some of the terrazzo because the terrazzo was covered with everything disgusting from the bathroom. It couldn't be cleaned. They tried using even muriatic acid. They couldn't get it off, so they decided to jackhammer out the old terrazzo. And the people came for an hour. Why they don't say. The workmen just come and they go, and no one knows when they're going to come back. But they left, like, it's all a little bit jackhammered. And what else they want to talk about? The Sombra Corporation was found in Stephen King's books. And they have got all kinds of electronic gizmos. Sippy Cup is the one who's in charge of making sure people's water glasses are full. And the one that drinks the most water is me. The rest of them only drink water if first thing in the morning, if they're very dry, if they've been drinking a lot. And they do drink very heavily at the Hutch. It's a very popular bar, and sometimes they have transients that come through. Burt Reynolds came through after he passed on Earth. Burt Reynolds was seen at the Hutch, and he was very happy. He was partying up a storm. He didn't stay that long, just long enough to annoy the hell out of me. Various other people come and go, not so much anymore. We're trying to control them because it makes it very annoying. Because, this is, it's the Hutch is the control center for where we make all the videos here. If you get too many visitors coming through and we're filming, it's like if you go to a set on Earth, they lock the doors and they put a red light on so that you don't walk in the middle of filming. And here sometimes the freighters arrive and they just unload people right in the middle of us making a film, and it's very annoying. What else did we want to talk about? Bob Ross's Enlightenment Intensives. We're not doing any Enlightenment Intensives. It's Bob Ross. When Bob Ross is on, he's an Australian and he gets these crazy ideas. But we have nothing booked. We're not going to join up with David Wilcock and do something in Hawaii. He hasn't invited us, and we're not going to pay. We're not going to do a paid gig, and no one's invited us. No one's invited Bob Ross, and everyone knows that Bob Ross is, he likes skydiving and flying old airplanes. One propellered airplanes, usually should have a twin, but he only likes one, and he flies himself. And if he's going to parachute, then he gets his son to fly. And only the Rosses are allowed to fly the planes. And everyone else has to get pushed out. If you're chicken, they'll push you out. He says that's not true. He says that they'll never push you out of the plane. But if you're in tandem, in other words, there's a parachutist that's got the parachute on and you're underneath and you're connected, they won't push you out. He promises. That's a good way to go for your first time. Anyways, I'm wearing the Silly Fists hat, but I'm HarryWeaver, the narrator, and it's just because I have to wear something different so you look different. And we usually wear hats, but HarryWeaver dresses differently. He's the one that just sort of fills in the blanks and lets you know what's going on. For this upcoming week, we're Bob Frizzell, our producer, he's out scouting around, and my hand is getting very sore. I need my own cameraman. My hand is getting very sore, so we have to go. What? Firestein's wife. She says, "Do you want to have a gin and tonic with me?" I take her hand. Just a gin tonic.